Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
And welcome back, everybody. Hey, the cancer journey is never an easy one. Going through all the treatments, be it cancer chemo treatments or radiation. And once it's over, sigh of relief, but there's also fallout from that, if you will. And sometimes you need some support with that. Believe it or not, this can support it. I'm talking about acupuncture. Every time we get together, we learn from her how acupuncture can help with so many different things. And post-cancer treatment is one of them. Dr. Kelly is a acupuncturist, herbal medicine expert, and so much more. And bless you. And she's out of New York City. Great to have her back on. Hey, Dr. Kelly.
Hi, Steve. How are you doing?
Fantastic. It's great to have you back here. And once again, I never even considered how acupuncture can help somebody in their cancer journey. Tell us more.
Yes, actually, my office, the location is very close to Sloan Kettering Hospital, where a lot of people go there to treat cancer, radiation, chemotherapy stuff. Actually, a lot of people feel like fatigue, feel nausea, feel insomnia, and a lot of discomfort after the treatment. So then they would like to see an acupuncturist, to take care of them so they can feel better. I was saying, some people, and it's been, a great help to them. So I can talk about one of the patient as an example. Let people know how can acupuncture to help people feel better after radiation chemotherapy.
Sure. Yeah. Give us an example of somebody that you helped and worked with.
Yeah. So I have this gentleman. Actually, he live upstate. So they came to the city just for the radiation, for the treatment. But after radiation, the patient felt very hard to go to bathroom, so cannot really have a good flow to urinate. And it's very discomfort. And the doctor, he said, when he came to me, he said his doctor even think about to kind of put a catheter, put a pee bag on him. So in that way, he doesn't feel so bad when he pee. But of course, that's not everyone's first choice. So he said, Dr. Kelly, can you help me? I said, let's try. So we did acupuncture. And after the first treatment, his wife texted me and said, Dr. Kelly, you helped him. He went to the bathroom right away after treatment. So I helped him. But the radiation usually is not only one treatment, it's several times. Usually the more treatment people get, more discomfort they will feel, and more nausea, fatigue. So he basically come in after each radiation treatment. I will treat him and he feel better. So he didn't have the catheter, he didn't have the pee bag. He drove back 3 hours with the car. So he's very happy.
Wow. Where were you when I needed you? I had radiation for skin cancer. And although it wasn't as invasive as many other radiation sessions, like you said, every time you go, and I went every single day, 5 days a week for 30 days, a month. There's discomfort. There's definitely discomfort. Any other journeys you can share with us? I mean, that's remarkable in his situation.
Yes, I have another patient who got breast cancer. Then, usually the procedure for Western medicine, they do the surgery and then they do radiation chemotherapy. But similar, the patient feel burning over there in the local area. It's painful. They couldn't fall asleep, couldn't eat. So it's very discomfort. So I treat this patient also. She felt better, so she can fall asleep, she can eat, not feeling like nausea, vomiting. So in general, doesn't matter it's breast cancer or prostate cancer or whatever cancer, all the radiation chemotherapy basically make people feel very uncomfortable. Like they feel the pain, like digesting system doesn't really work. They couldn't fall asleep. But acupuncture can treat all the discomfort and make them feel better in general.
Wow. What is going on that it works so beautifully even with cancer treatment?
So let's talk about, for example, for the prostate cancer. The reason why people feel like cannot go to use the bathroom because the radiation create a lot of heat toxin. It's kind of like they have a lot of heat in the kidney, in the UB, make them have like hard time to pee. Give them the even burning sensation. Like also the radiation chemotherapy make their body feel very weak. They don't even have the strength like to kind of like to push. So, but the acupuncture can, we tonify the kidney because kidney in charge of, the pee and poop. So when we tonify kidney, we can make the kidney stronger. They have more strength, to use the bathroom. And also the radiation chemotherapy created a heat toxin. We can clear the damp heat in that local area, in the kidney, in the UB. When the damp heat got cleared, they don't have the like urgent frequent urination feeling and burning, difficult to urinate. So we clear the damp heat, we strengthen their kidney, strengthen their UB function. Of course, we always strengthen their digesting system so they can have a better digestion, so their body have more energy they can use, for their daily life.
Wow. And in that type of cancer, usually after treatment, a catheter is normal, at least for a period of time, days, a week potentially. Remarkable. So it sounds like we're going back to the cold and the hot again. And
yes.
I'm seeing this more and more. This is a major challenge within our health and our bodies, it sounds like, Dr. Kelly.
Yes, actually, you're right about the heat and cold, right? So, for example, people who going through radiation, they have a lot of heat,
Yes.
And actually, people who drinking cold stuff or exposed to AC a lot, they usually have the symptoms, for example, pain, muscle pain, or for a girl, they can have cramp, menstrual pain. So that cold can slow down the blood flow, slow down the qi movement, make them have like a difficult, period. They can have cramp, bad cramp, or even they make them have a late period. Like I have several patients who got their period late. So I asked them, like, do you like to drink ice cold water? They said yes. So then their period got late, but I did acupuncture on them. They said their period came right away after treatment. So although people can have some imbalance between cold and heat, acupuncture can bring you back to the balance.
Wow. It goes back. Even now we're talking about the cold beverages again, which we've talked about quite often in the past, but that seems to be the number one impact on our health if you look at it through the eyes of Chinese medicine. It seems like it's just not a good thing, right?
I know, but somehow people either they don't realize it, or they don't believe it, or they just get used to drink the cold stuff.
Yeah.
When we had a class, actually, although I have been practicing, I have a lot of patience, but I still keep learning. When we had the Huangdi Neijing class one day, one of the students mentioned said, like it looks like it's more like Chinese people, alien people like to drink warm beverage. But American, they kind of like they drink ice cold water. They are totally fine. I said, no, who said they are totally fine? Like if you ask them, even they're like big, strong, tall, a lot of them have bloating and gassing. Where the bloating gassing from? From the ice cold water and drink.
Wow.
So, like, don't think American people are they are stronger, so they can drink ice cold water. No, 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 no.
Well, they're not making the connection because they're not aware of it, as I wasn't. And I heard in Chinese culture, one of my friends who I grew up with, Greg, his family is Chinese, and I used to, watch it. Oh wow, they drink things warm. I just thought it was just a cultural thing. I didn't know it was connected to health. And if you're used to drinking cold beverages, just get in the habit of not. After a while, you don't crave it. And there's going to be those isolated cases where you're out somewhere, somebody gives you something to drink, it's already cold, it is what it is. But if you can be intentional about it, how about salt? I have not put salt on my food since I was a kid. Haven't. I'm just not a big fan of sodium. Everything has salt in it. Why add to it? I don't see the reason. I'm not missing anything. Same thing with sweets. Yeah, I love an occasional dessert. Definitely. But I don't crave it because I don't have it a lot. I've kind of just, and that's not to say that, I don't have other habits, but, those are now on my radar, especially the warmer beverages. Back to support for cancer and radiation or chemo and radiation patients. What else can you tell us there that acupuncture can help?
Well, acupuncture can give them more energy. Like how, right? People will say, how can you give people more energy? Well, there are some points can make you feel more energetic. For example, the one on the top of the head is called Du 20. The Chinese pinyin is Bai Hui, mean the 100 points converge meeting over there. That's the most young point on our body because, the head is kind of like more young, it's on the top, and the foot is more yin. So when I put a needle on the head, on the top of the head, actually a lot of people feel more energy. And also, when we do the acupuncture in general, there are people who kind of like healthy, but I don't think anybody is perfect. Everybody have a little bit something, right?
Oh, sure.
So I can always make people's digestive system stronger, make their immune system stronger. So in that way, their body can take in the food and make the best use of it. So they have more energy, they feel better. But when your spleen, your stomach is weak, you cannot, even you eat a lot, you cannot really use that energy. So, and also a lot of time, actually people going through the radiation stuff, they don't have an appetite even. They don't want to eat. But acupuncture will kind of like make their appetite a little bit stronger. Actually, I even have a patient complain about her appetite getting stronger after treatment. She said, Dr. Kelly, what did you do? I want to eat more.
Well, talk about digestion. I'm going to share this. It's in real time. My friend Kira, she is a fitness professional. You look at her, she looks fantastically healthy. She's a trainer. She's in her mid 40s, maybe 46-ish. And she just in great health. Where was she this weekend? At the hospital with gastritis, a major case of gastritis. And I literally was just texting her before we got on here about how herbal remedies made me feel better with gastritis, ulcer, and all of that. Now I'm going to suggest acupuncture. What can I tell her? I'm literally texting her right now.
Yeah, acupuncture actually can treat that. So in general, I haven't seen her, so I don't know her case, but in general, people maybe have some stomach heat. Usually the stomach heat will have some inflammation in the stomach. People may feel the burning pain stuff. But where the stomach hit from, usually, I mean, not all the time, from food stagnation. How people have food stagnation? You have a weak spleen. How people get a weak spleen? Maybe there are sometimes people born with a weak spleen, but a lot of time because we drinking too much cold stuff, we mess up the spleen. Then the spleen cannot really digest the food. The food stay in the stomach, causing the heat rising up. So the stomach, the qi should going down, but when the food stagnant in the stomach, it's going up. That's why people have the inflammation in the stomach. Acupuncture can help that for sure. Herbal formula. I have been treating a lot of patients have similar problem. They all feel great.
We're right back to the cold beverages again. and she does all the time. I watch her, and she's this very petite person. She also loves IPAs. Having a beer occasionally. That's kind of like her favorite thing. We know it's cold. So I didn't even realize that when your spleen is having challenges, your spleen does a lot more than many of us realize, doesn't it?
Oh, it is. Like, for example, people who have fatigue, people have edema, a lot of time because their spleen is weak. So when the spleen is weak, you usually have edema, they have like the bloating, gassing. I have this lady who is around 60 something. She said she has the bloating, gassing, edema, and a small appetite for her whole life. Then I asked her, do you like drink ice cold water? She said, yes, since I was a child. I'm like, that is the problem. That is the reason why you have bloating, gassing, small appetite, and edema. She said, but how come the American people, they are okay with the cold beverage? I said, how do you know they are okay?
Because they're used to it.
Okay.
They're not
They're
okay.
not okay. If you ask a lot of people, like American people, they have bloating, gassing. They have like the acid reflux. They have fatigue. They have a lot of problems. You just don't know. You just think, oh, they're big and strong, so they are okay with cold stuff. No.
Wow. Got my warm coffee right here. It's okay. So let me ask you this question about coffee. I have another friend who is into fitness, and she kind of let things go for a while. Now she's at the gym. She's back at it, and she says she cut coffee. Is that bad? I didn't think that coffee was such I usually drink decaf, not a lot of dairy in it, maybe just a tiny bit. That's it. Is coffee okay for you?
Well, coffee, why people like to drink coffee. Actually, I even have patient told me they used to have headache, but after they drink coffee, their headache is gone.
I've heard the same.
Oh, right? Because the caffeine kind of like move the blood faster. So kind of like move the blood faster. That's why, the reason why people have a headache is because the blood kind of like have the stasis. The qi kind of like stagnant. It cannot really move. That's why people have a headache. When you drink coffee, the caffeine make the blood running faster. That's why they feel better. So, but it's kind of like coffee is kind of like medicine. Actually, I think a long time ago, it is a medicine. Later on, people just feel, oh, when I drink coffee, I feel more energy, so I just drink it like a drink. But I don't think anybody should drink a lot of coffee, because your blood is gonna running faster, so you feel better. But you shouldn't you shouldn't feel great only with coffee. You should feel great without the coffee.
Gotcha. Yeah. And the average person, actually yesterday was National Coffee Day, and I was reading that the average person has 3 cups a day. And that's probably the minimum. So like, that's interesting what you say, Dr. Kelly, in that much of what we ingest should be considered medicine. 1,000 years ago or so, it was said that food is thy medicine. If you think of it that way, when we take any kind of medicine, we're very careful about it. we look at the label, we make sure we take it on time, we only take what's prescribed. But if you look at food in the same exact way, we don't treat it that way. We just shovel food in, drink cold beverages. We take for granted that our body's trying to make up for all of the stuff that we're doing to it when it comes to those things that we're ingesting. We don't see it that way. I think in Chinese medicine, it's viewed a totally different way, right?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. All the food actually, the Chinese herbs, actually a lot of herbs just in the kitchen. It's like, for example, ginger, spring onion, garlic, chili, a lot of these things we use in the kitchen every day. But we should know which, like for example, ginger, when should we use ginger? When should we use garlic? Right? If you, like you said, if we think, oh, it's just food, we can just take it forever. No, that's not good either, because to some people, take ginger is good. If you have a weak spleen, yes. But if people have kind of like yin deficiency, too much ginger is bad. Same thing as coffee. If you drink too much coffee, some people couldn't even fall asleep. Some people maybe even have a palpitation. Their heart is going to beat faster. So it's really like, actually, you know what, Steve? I'm going to open a restaurant.
You should. Why don't they have any? Why don't they have any healthy, call it Chinese medicine related type restaurants?
Yes, I'm going to open one.
I mean, you have Chinese restaurants, but that doesn't mean that everything they're serving is good for you. Let's be honest. And it's up to the person that's, buying to be aware. But imagine if they had a place that was just the healthy stuff, no cold beverages. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. So I just feel like one, people just don't know which is healthy food. Two is what food is good for them. Right? For example, I talk about, for example, kidney deficient patient, they should eat, for example, a little bit like a salty food, of course, not too much, right? Black color. And the spleen deficient patient should eat like yellow, orange food. Like liver, people who have liver qi stagnation should eat a little more green food. So I'm going to have the 5 color food, 5 flavor, tailor to each person's needs.
I love that idea. And the more and more here, you should eat a rainbow of food in their color because you're getting everything you need. Now, if we want to take it a step further, if you look at energy and the chakras in the body, if you believe in that, somebody told me recently that every chakra has a color, which
Yes.
many of us know, and the food you eat correlates to the color.
Yes, that's true. Because in Chinese medicine, we have 5 elements, right? The 5 elements have each color and have each taste. Like, for example, kidney, the color is black. The flavor is salty. The liver, color is green. The flavor is sour. So the heart, the color is red. The flavor is bitter, actually. So every organ has its color and has its flavor. So in that way, everybody should eat the food tailored to their organ, like which organ is a little bit weak, which organ a little bit too strong. So the 5 flavors should be in harmony.
Learned a lot today. Wow. Fantastic. Dr. Kelly, you're in New York City, obviously, for acupuncture. Somebody needs to be there with you in person. A lot of the other stuff we're talking about, you can consult virtually. What's your website again?
It's www.kelly121acupuncture.com.
And if you ever have any questions, comments, you can always reach out here, instantfeedbacksteve@gmail.com. Dr. Kelly, thank you again for all the insight. Truly appreciate it. Going to pass it on to my friend Kira. And good stuff today, as always. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hi, this is Terry Crews, actor, former football player, game show host, father of 5, and all-around big dude. I'm also an expert on drama. I know all kinds of drama. There's the good kind that comes with having a house full of kids. There's the bad kind like season-ending injuries. There's the necessary kind like having an agent in Hollywood. And there's silly drama like the drama around my percolating pectorals. And then there's the drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your high school diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org.
Or text diploma to 97779. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out. That's diploma to 97779. And leave the drama to actors like me.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.